Hey guys, this is the Integrated Science Unit 3. So we're in chemistry. We're on skill 1, which is atoms and elements, part 2. So today we're going to talk about what an atom really is when you get to know it. So last time we talked about atoms make up elements, and an element is one kind of atom only, but what the heck is an atom? Okay, so this picture you've probably seen before. If you ever watched TV and watched like the Big Bang Theory, you've seen this wing around the whole screen. But basically, an atom is the simplest part of an element that retains all the properties of that element. That's going to be the atom. So if you take an element and you cut it up, cut it, cut it, cut it, cut it, cut it, cut it so small into the smallest little bit where if you cut it anymore, it would no longer have the properties of the element, that's an atom. They are so small, okay, like incredibly small. There are 3 times 10 to the 22nd atoms in 1 grain of sand. So I'm not talking about the whole beach. I'm talking about that one itty bitty little teeny tiny piece. That piece that if it fell on you, you might not even feel it because it's so small. That has 3 times 10 to the 22nd atoms. But to understand 3 times 10 to the 22nd, we need to take it out of scientific notation and put it in regular notation. There are this many atoms. 3, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. I'm not going to go through all those zeros. Atoms in 1 grain of sand. That's a lot of atoms in just a little itty about. Think about it another way. You are a human, and the human body is made out of organ systems. If you break those down, that's made out of organs. Organs get broken down into smaller bits called tissues, and the tissues get broken down into cells. There are 37 trillion, like with a T, trillion cells in your body. And all of those cells are made out of atoms. They're made out of molecules, which are made out of atoms. In every single cell, there are 204 billion atoms just in the DNA. That's just in that little itty bit within the little itty bit within the little itty bit of your body. There are so many atoms in your body. It's actually not possible for the human brain to comprehend that large of a number. That's how many atoms are in your body. That's how small an atom is. Okay, so if we were to look at the atom and break it into parts, the first thing you need to know is the nucleus. And you're like, whoa, you just said that word when talking about a cell. So the word nucleus really just means the center of something. So when you're talking about a cell, the nucleus is the center and it holds the DNA. When you're talking about an atom, the nucleus is the center. So center part of the atom. In the nucleus, there are protons, which are positive subatomic particles. So they have a +1 electrical charge. And the other thing you need to know, move this little note, the number of protons in an atom determines the type of element it is. So if there's 1 proton, it has to be hydrogen. It can't be any other type of atom. If there's 2 protons, it has to be helium. It can't be any other type of element. So that's the determining factor. The other thing in the nucleus is the neutron. So the neutron is a neutral subatomic particle. I love the joke that says all the subatomic particles go to a bar and they get a drink, and the bartender says the neutron for you, no charge. You'll laugh about it, I'm sure. Okay. The next thing is the electron. So the electron is one of the 3 subatomic particles that is not in the nucleus. And the electron is the negative subatomic particle. So the electron has a -1 electric charge. It is the smallest particle. Now this is really not to scale. If this were to scale, well, the electrons would be so far away, they would basically be on the outer parts of the Earth if the nucleus were this big. So, and then electrons would be so small, they'd be like little flecks of dust. Electrons are so incredibly small compared to other subatomic particles. And while we're talking about that, subatomic, the word sub, or the prefix sub, means smaller than or a piece of. So subatomic is taking the atom and just like making it into little teeny tiny pieces. So subatomic particles are protons, neutrons, and electrons. All right, so you've seen this, the periodic table. The periodic table is arranged in order of the number of protons in the nucleus of an atom. So like I said, hydrogen has 1 proton. Helium has 2 protons. Lithium 3, beryllium 4. This is called the atomic number of an atom or of an element. So the atomic number 31, that's going to be gallium. So hydrogen's atomic number is 1. And what that means, in every single atom of hydrogen, there's always going to be only one proton. If there were more than one proton, it's not hydrogen. Now, the number of protons doesn't change in an atom unless you're doing a nuclear reaction. So if you've ever heard of like a nuclear power plant, they are changing the number of protons in an atom, and it creates a lot, it releases a ton of energy, which also you might have heard of like a nuclear bomb. That is changing the number of protons in an atom. So not something that we do regularly. Okay, so if you have a sample and you find that atom to have 17 protons, what element is it? Okay, well, I've got the atomic number of 17 because I have 17 protons. So I just read my periodic table until I get to 17, and it's right here, chlorine. All right, best of luck with this lesson, and I will see you in the next video.